Colin Cowherd predicts the division winners in the NFL for next season. Now, there's one specific reason I want to watch this. It's because in the title, he has the Washington Commanders winning the division. I can't wait to hear how this is possible. I mean, they had a horrific, one of the worst defenses I've ever seen, ever. Fired their coach. They're going to have a new quarterback. So you've got a rookie quarterback. You've got a first-year head coach. You've got a historically bad defense. And somehow, not only are they going to right the ship and turn things around, but they're going to win the division, the same division with the Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. So I can't wait to see what Colin has to say about this. He is predicting, again, every single playoff team for next season. So he's going to show us his division winners and his wild card teams.
Early predictions. I looked at schedules. I'll give you an example in the AFC. Houston doesn't make it. What? Now they have to play with expectations.
By the way, if you're looking at a futures bet, I like the Cincinnati Bengals to have the most wins in the NFL next season. They're going to have an easier schedule because they finished fourth in their division. Obviously, with Burrow back, he's going to take advantage of that. I will be all over Bengals future bets going into next season.
Schedule is significantly harder. And oh, by the way, Anthony Richardson and Trevor Lawrence are both healthy again. So that's a team I like. I don't think Houston bottoms out. Sophomore slump. That's a team. So remember, per season, last decade, 6 new teams make the playoffs. So all you fanboys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with, like, if he was to drop Houston, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem thinking, like, Indy's going to be better, Jacksonville will be better, it'll be tight, and going with Houston. I mean, going with Houston to miss. That makes sense. I could hear something like that. I don't think I can hear how Washington is going to win the division.
Is out there. Well, we made the 6 new teams. That's the average for a decade. So I went through it this morning, and I ended up with 6. AFC. Shocker, I'm taking the best quarterbacks overwhelmingly.
Yeah, that's something else you can do. So I say this every year, but if you want to predict a division, a good way to do that is to take the best quarterback. If you do that, more than likely you'll be pretty close to right on the money every time. So right now he's got the Bills winning the AFC East. I'm cool with that. The Bengals winning the North. I like that. I would predict the same thing. The Colts winning the South, whatever, toss-up division. The Chiefs winning the West, which, I mean, how can you – hard not to, right? It's hard not to take KC. Patrick Mahomes doesn't lose in general, but he also doesn't – he never loses in the division. Wild card, so he's got the Ravens. So he has the Browns missing out and the Steelers missing out from the North. Fine. He's got the Texans and then the Titans in the South. And then the West, he's got the Raiders and the Broncos missing out. So, I mean, this is pretty – I'm cool with this. I would probably land pretty similarly. The only difference is I might have Jacksonville winning the division, the Colts getting the wild card, or Jacksonville winning, Houston being the wild card. I would mix and match the AFC South. I think the AFC South, the Colts, Jags, and Texans are pretty much the exact same.
I have the Bills, the Bengals, the Colts, the Chiefs winning their division. I have the Ravens, Jags, Chargers as wild cards. So the Bills have won their divisions 4 straight years. The Bengals have had double-digit wins and led their division before Burrow gets hurt. I think they'll rebound. I think Shane Steichen's as good a young offensive coach as the league has had in years.
Great coach.
They've got $60 million in cap space, and I like a lot of their young players. They almost got to the playoffs with Gardner Minshew. Anthony Richardson getting hurt in a weird way as a break, because now he could learn from the sidelines. I have talked to Chris Ballard. They love that kid. And I'll take Mahomes. By the way, my wild card team.
I mean, when he says 6 new teams that made the playoffs every year, when you think about it, it's really not that much. I mean, you look at like a team like the Bengals. Okay, if the Bengals make it, if the Chargers make it, 2 teams that certainly should be better, right? The Chargers should be way better. You know, Herbert was hurt last year. They fired Brandon Staley. They bring in Jim Harbaugh. He's won everywhere he's gone. They have a high draft pick. So if you throw the Bengals, the Chargers in there, and then one of the AFC South teams you flip, and then you toss the Saints in the other side, all of a sudden you're already at 4 or 5. So it's not that hard to get to 6. 6 sounds like a lot, but it's really not.
Teams are quarterbacked by Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Herbert. I'm taking the best quarterback. I don't know if Anthony Richardson is, but it's a wonky division. I look at their schedule. I look at Steichen. I look at their cap space. Oh, by the way, the Jags started 8-3 before Trevor Lawrence got hurt. They also hired a defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen from Atlanta, who did the best job with Atlanta.
Gun to my head, I'd probably have Jacksonville as the division winner and Houston as the wild card team. I need to see it with Richardson. A lot of people think he might just be an injury-prone kind of player. So if you told me you're having another season of Gardner Minshew, would I be confident in them winning the division? Probably not. I understand they almost did this year, but talking back-to-back seasons. So my change here would be Jacksonville division winner, Houston wild card.
His defense in a long time, and the Chargers, by the way, lost 7 games by 3 or less. Even with Brandon Staley, which was man overboard, they were in a lot of games. Now Harbaugh gets his star quarterback.
Yeah,
so
Harbaugh's
I've got
a huge
4 new
difference
teams:
maker, obviously.
Bengals, Colts, Jags, Chargers. Nothing against Miami, but Tua was completely healthy this year. Think that's going to happen again next?
Well, Tyreek Hill was banged up at the end. I mean, you got to kind of throw some stuff around there. Miami, the Vic Fangio thing is impactful for sure. I don't have a problem with Miami not making it. I like the teams that are in here. Maybe you could take Jacksonville, have them the division winner, then have Miami be the last wild card. I'd be okay with that too. But I'd say Bills, Ravens, Bengals, Chargers, Chiefs are pretty much. I'm locked in on that. And then, of course, you have to have one AFC South, so I'm going to have the Jags. So, Bills, Ravens, Bengals, Chargers, Chiefs, AFC South team, I think are a lock. The last wild card team, is it Houston? Is it Indy? Is it the Dolphins? You know, is it the Jets? I could go a million different ways there.
Also, still don't love their O-line. Houston, I like them a lot. Schedule's tougher. Now you're playing with expectations. Trevor Lawrence healthy. Now, look at the Texans' opponents. There's some tough ones there. Cowboys on the road, Chiefs on the road, Packers, I think, are excellent on the road. You face Aaron Rodgers, and he's healthy early on the road. Home games, well, good luck. Lions are really good. Ravens are really good. Dolphins score a lot of points.
Sure.
Bills score a lot of points. That's a tough schedule for the Houston Texans. They still are in a rebuild.
Change in playoff teams.
They're still trying to rebuild that roster. So I like Houston. I think they pull back a game or two. All right, let's go to the NFC.
All right.
I have 2 new playoff teams. Commanders win their...
All right, so this is just insane. I just cannot wait to hear what he says. The only way, because if you're saying the Commanders are going to win the division, then you're saying that either Drake Maye or Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, whoever they end up with, whoever you predict them to end up with, is going to be unreal. Is going to be C.J. Stroud levels of rookie season, who's going to be an amazing quarterback, and is going to take them from the bottom of the barrel all the way to the division title.
Packers win their division. Falcons win their division. Rams win their division. Wild cards are Cowboys, Lions, Niners. Why Commanders? $75 million in cap space. Love Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury as a staff. I think the Eagles and the Cowboys, because of age and drama, are vulnerable. I think the Commanders, we have a surprise team every year in the league. I think they get Drake Maye. I think Drake Maye's like Justin Herbert as a comp, played in a simple college offense, and will be better than people think immediately. Herbert was, C.J. Stroud was. I think Drake Maye is that guy this year.
It's one thing to be vulnerable, but it's another thing to, like, for both of them to lose to the degree that the Eagles will not even make the playoffs. Like, that is a huge ask. Huge ask. So he's going with Drake Maye. So I named Daniels, Maye, and Williams. So he's saying Drake Maye is going to get drafted by the Commanders. Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury, 2, completely new coaching staff. Everything's, think about it. You got a new head coach, new OC, new DC basically, new quarterback, and all of that is going to gel to where they win the division. And Philadelphia falls so far. If Philadelphia misses the playoffs, you're talking about, think about those storylines. Sirianni's getting fired for sure. He almost got fired this year. Jalen Hurts' career trajectory is completely off. If he misses the playoffs, people are going to be talking about how good is he? Was he, what was it, the coordinators the whole time? Like, what's going on in Philly? The Packers, let's see. So the Packers win the division. Okay, I could see it. I still think the Lions are the best team in that division, but I could see the Packers were fine. The Falcons, a lot of question marks there. Who's the quarterback? I hate putting. It's just really hard for me. It would be really hard for me to predict a team to win the division if I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. And if you're Colin predicting this, you have no clue who the Falcons quarterback's going to be. So you have to just be blindly betting on the team, basically. That's a tough ask. Same with Washington. Like, you're just blindly betting on whatever rookie quarterback. Let's see, the Rams in the NFC West over the Niners. I could see that. I mean, I could see Brock Purdy taking a step back. The Niners. I can see the Rams getting there for sure. If Stafford stays healthy, Stafford's good. You get another year of development with McVay, with players like Kyron Williams and Puka Nacua. They retool some more, fill some roster spots. This was the year they were supposed to be bad. They were good. So I could see it. Let's see, Lions wild card, Niners wild card, Cowboys wild card. The big changes here, I would take the Falcons out, put the Saints winning the division. I'd take the Commanders out. I'd probably have the Cowboys winning that division. So I'd have Cowboys, Lions, Saints, Rams. I'm okay with that. And then the wild card. The wild card, I'd probably have the Packers, Eagles. I guess Packers, Eagles, Niners would be mine. So if I did it, I would have 5 new playoff teams, right? I'd have the Saints as my new team in the NFC. And then I would have in the AFC, I'd have the Bengals, the Jags, the Chargers. And then we ended up, so we'd have 4. So we'd have 4 new, right? So we'd have like 4 new teams. So we're right there too. But yeah, I can't get there with the Falcons. It's just, and then the Panthers are absolutely awful. So it's the Saints or the Falcons in winning the division. I don't think the Buccaneers do the same thing. And I think the Saints right now, I said this last year, but I'd rather go with Derek Carr than whoever the Falcons are going to roll out there. Now, if the Falcons go and get Kirk Cousins or they go make some trade or, that changes things for sure. But the way it's set right now, I'm going with the Saints to win the division.
Cheer. Packers, I love their young offensive personnel. Don't like it, I love it. They're kids, and they went into Dallas and hammered the Cowboys. I thought LaFleur had his best job as a head coach, did his best job.
I agree with that.
Falcons, I think they land Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins.
Okay. So I said, Colin doesn't know who the quarterback's going to be. Apparently he does know either Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins. Now, Kirk Cousins is a legit game changer. If Kirk Cousins goes to the Falcons, I will be very bullish on Atlanta. I'll tell you that right now. If Kirk Cousins goes there, I would if you told me Kirk Cousins is the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, I would have the Falcons winning the division. I'll tell you that. I mean, that sounds crazy, but it is what it is. I think they're super talented. I like Raheem Morris. I like Zach Robinson. I think Kirk Cousins is the man. They are waiting to be unleashed. And again, just go with the best quarterback in the division. I think Cousins is better than Carr. So if that was the case, and I guess Colin's going all in with that prediction. So I'm okay with that now. I'm okay if he's telling me that Kirk Cousins is going to be there. All right, fine. I'm okay with Atlanta being there. And I mean, the NFC is tough. Like, you look at the NFC here. Look at the wild card, like Dallas, Detroit, and San Francisco. It is hard to slip in the NFC wild card picture if some of those heavyweights, like the Lions, like the Cowboys, like the Niners, don't win their division. And the Rams are a good team. Like, if you flip the Niners and the Rams, flip the Cowboys for the Commanders and replace the Commanders with the Eagles, you're still looking at, and then flip the Lions and the Packers, you're still looking at the wild card being, the Eagles, the Rams, and the Lions, or the Eagles, Rams, and Packers. Like, those are still really good teams. So it was imperative this year that the Saints win the division. It's imperative next year too. You can't mess around in the NFC. You can't mess around if you want to make the playoffs. You have to win the division. For a long time we were kind of holding on to hopes that we were just going to make a wild card last year, and then you saw how that went. So got to win the division. If Atlanta gets Cousins, that would be huge news for us, or impacting the Saints, impacting us. So I hope that does not happen. Russell Wilson doesn't scare me at all. If Russell Wilson goes to Atlanta, I mean, he's better than Desmond Ridder. He's better than Taylor Heineke. But if Russell Wilson's the quarterback for Atlanta, I still think Derek Carr is probably the best quarterback in the division. If Sean Payton can't make Russell Wilson work, he's not going to work.
Top 5 offensive line, nice pieces. I think they get a veteran in there for a couple of years, and Atlanta wins kind of a weak division. Rams, second youngest team that made the playoffs to the Packers. I think one of the great coaches in football. They've got 11 draft picks and about $30 million of cap space. I think the Rams are in the Super Bowl bubble potentially. I have the Cowboys, Lions, and Niners, all with offensive coaches getting in. So again, the quarterbacks are Matt Stafford. I think a Russell Wilson potential in Atlanta. Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love. And the one surprise, last year it was C.J. Stroud. This year for me, it's Drake Maye.
Now, this is where Colin goes off the rails here because he's saying, before he said, take the best quarterbacks, right? Well, in this one, he's taking Drake Maye, Jordan Love, Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, and Brock Purdy. You know, in this situation, he's kind of leaning away. And in his voice, you could even tell in his voice, he was thinking like, maybe this isn't the best example of the quarterbacks whenever I'm listing Drake Maye and Russell Wilson. And, you know, so leaving out some of these other guys, you know, I don't know about this one. This one's a lot of risk over here.
There you go. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Prescott, Jordan Love. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe in Atlanta.
Okay, Colin. Hey, bro, mixing a water. Ladies and gentlemen, go down below. Give me your way too early divisional predictions. No one better have the Commanders in there. Please don't make that mistake. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.